Hi, I'm Dr Arshad. I'm here at the Hair Doctor Clinic in Leeds. I'm with my patient Vic, who's very kindly agreed to do this video. Vic has travelled all the way from Carlisle to have her surgery today. So what I'd like to show you is the areas that we're addressing today. So if you just look slightly down for me, Vic, that's good. So basically what we're doing here is hairline lowering surgery, and there's two main ways of addressing this issue. Vic has a genetically high hairline, so the rest of her hair is absolutely fine. There's no thinning. The dawn area at the back and sides is healthy. Her scalp is very healthy. She has no dermatological conditions. She regularly has thyroid function tests, which are normal, and I'm happy that there's no other issues going on with her scalp. In terms of the actual hairline, Vic has naturally a high hairline, so she's not shedding at the moment, nor has the hairline changed recently or over the last few years. The pattern of her hairline actually shows that she's got quite a bit of frontotemporal recession. So instead of the hairline coming round and being feminine, it slightly goes up in the frontotemporal region, and this creates the appearance of a high hairline. I'm going to bring the frontal aspect, so the frontal hairline, down by about 1 centimetre, and this creates an illusion of her forehead being shorter than it is actually. In terms of where the hairline should sit, there's several factors that we consider. So the anatomy is really important. So Vic, if I get you to raise your eyebrows, you can see that her muscle just comes up to the line. That's fine, relax. So what we prefer not to do is actually implant into the muscle of the forehead, this muscle here, which is called the frontalis muscle. Another aspect that we look at when we decide where the hairline sits is the symmetry of the face, or what we call the symmetry of the facial thirds. So from the most anterior or forward hairline to in between the eyebrows should be equally spaced in comparison from in between the eyebrows to underneath the nose, and from underneath the nose to the bottom of the chin. And this hairline does give her good proportions, and that's why when sometimes we look at somebody's facial features, it appears that they've got a slightly higher hairline or genetically higher hairline because of these facial proportions. There are two main ways in order to try and lower the hairline. So if you slightly bend your head down, there is a method of lowering the hairline using a technique called a forehead plasty or hairline lowering surgery. This involves making a linear incision within the hairline and then raising the scalp and advancing it. This is a procedure that I commonly perform. However, in this scenario, for Vic, I did not feel that that was the correct way to address her concerns. Her main issues are actually in the frontotemporal area, and this is where hairline lowering surgery cannot really address this issue. So laterally, in this frontotemporal region, a forehead plasty or hairline lowering surgery will not close off this angle. The only way to close off this angle is through a hair transplant procedure. So that's why in Vic's case, because of the main areas that she was concerned about, we've decided to proceed with an FUE hair transplant. The other important aspect of hairline design and female hairline restoration surgery is that the frontal hairline should not be straight across. So I always create a slight irregularity at the front, and this allows it to look a lot more natural in appearance. In terms of where we're going to harvest the grafts from, so these will be taken from the back of Vic's scalp, the back and sides. This area is very healthy. There's good hair here that we can extract, and this allows us to then fill these areas in, getting them to look dense and natural. So we will be moving approximately 2,500 grafts in today's session, and I believe that that will create a very dense and natural hairline. So what we have done is actually just trimmed underneath done an undercut. So we've lifted Vic's hair up and just trimmed the area at the back, the donor zone, and this allows us to access these hair follicles and extract them. And when we finish today, we will show you there will be a bandage on this area which will come off tomorrow after 24 hours, and this area heals remarkably quick, and of course Vic can just let her hair down and cover that so it's not noticeable.